This is Attorney Victor Cardoza on my show, Seriously, with Attorney Victor Cardoza. I want to talk to you about something that happens, unfortunately, way too often to people in this good community in Las Vegas. Someone suffers a car accident injury. They got to go to a doctor. They have injuries which require treatment. There's problems with medical bills. Health insurance, which may not cover everything, or there may be no insurance whatsoever for the person that's hurt, or maybe the bad guy driver who caused all these injuries doesn't have either enough car insurance or has no car insurance, or maybe there are other problems. Maybe the injury requires medical care which the health insurance plan won't cover, or the injured person needs a specialist. So, bottom line is this: car accident, injury, medical bills, does it all have to be a problem? Well, maybe not. Maybe there's a solution. Now, I invited here Miss Kim Vaughn Martin, who's going to talk to us about a possible solution to all of these elements, and it has to do with what's known as a medical lien. Ms. Kim Vaughn Martin, how are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Introduce yourself to the show. Tell us what you do in town.
My name is Kim Vaughn Martin. I work for Medcare Solutions. It's under new ownership, but it will change by November 11th. The new name will be coming out.
So how long have you been living here in Las Vegas?
For about 5 years now.
Well, you heard my introduction here. It's all about getting service to the injured people, making sure injured people get medical care. So how do you come into the picture when a person's involved in a car accident, has a lawyer, but there's a jam up with making sure they can get a doctor or a medical provider to give this injured person the medical care they need? How do you come into the scene? How does your company come into the scene to solve these problems?
Well, what we do is we fund the procedures in surgery centers or hospitals. How I add value to law practices. Pretty much I find providers that do specialties that normally take health insurance or cash base, and they're specialty doctors like ENTs, plastic surgeons, allergists on a lien, or pretty much not the norm providers that accepts liens, like ortho doctors or chiros.
I want to talk about to the people about the common things that most people know. People know that when there's a car accident, often there's a lawyer involved because they have to present and prosecute the claim. The lawyer may introduce them to, let's just say, a physical therapist or a chiropractor, and the chiropractor is willing to be patient and say, don't worry, injured person, I'll get paid back when your case settles. And in that way, the doctor, the chiropractor, becomes a creditor on the case. That's a medical lien, correct? You would agree with that?
Correct.
But it's not always that easy.
Correct.
What about those situations where the injured person needs some specialty medical care? Maybe plastic surgery, maybe specialty care to their foot, to their hand. Maybe they need a dentist. Not all of these providers, in my experience being a lawyer here 22 plus years, wants to do a lien, correct?
Correct.
So what do they want? They want their money up front. They want some payment. And if there's no health insurance, this injured person has problems, right?
Correct.
So what does your company do to help take care of this?
Medcare Solutions, we provide a lot of components within the company. We do transportation to assist law firms and the clients if they don't have access to a car, copay if they cannot. Most copays are about $5,000. If they cannot pay for their copay, Medcare can provide that service for them. We do pharmacy within 24 hours. They can receive a card and get prescriptions. We also do cash advances for attorneys if the client cannot pay their bills, and pretty much assist them.
So you provide the finances to the doctor to allow the doctor to go ahead and do
We
the
can buy the
medical care.
bills immediately. Within, after the cases, like for example, if an attorney forwards over a lien to a neurologist, if instead of waiting for 6 months to 8 months to get paid, we can purchase that receivable within a week or two.
Okay. And let me tell you a common thing that I hear about from other lawyers in my own experience. There's a car crash, victim gets their face cut up, or body parts injured which need plastic surgery. None of these plastic surgeons want to work on a attorney lien. They say, no, we're cash only. That's where you can come into the scene, right?
Yes, what I am the go-to girl in Vegas. Law firms reach out to me to find those specialty doctors that intake liens and everything. They are on health insurance or cash base. They don't have to put, a lien and everything. So that's how I come in. I find those specialty doctors to assist the law firms.
All right. Now, what about those attorneys in town that really don't know doctors and don't know what to do? Someone's hurt. They need the foot doctor. They need the plastic surgeon. What services can you provide the lawyers who, have this lack of information?
I pretty much Medcare has about 80 doctors at this time working with the funding company. We're happy to work with all their other providers that they're accustomed to, but we have a list of doctors, so they're welcome to work with them. And if an attorney needs assistance on a certain provider, spine, ortho, specialty doctors, we can provide that service for them.
Now, going back to the injured person, they don't call you up and say, hey, I need to have my doctors funded to pay me. How do you get involved in the case?
Pretty much the providers will reach out to me because they don't want to wait and hold the bill.
Okay.
And that's where I come in. They submit it into Medcare. We have a portal. Pretty much everything is being revamped because we're under new ownership. The name's going to change. We've added $2 million into the system to assist providers and law firms. Okay. And we purchased the receivable. Like I said, we were very quick in paying. So within like a week or two.
And this is an alternative for the doctors who want to either work on the medical attorney lien, medical lien, or get paid up front. They can either choose to get paid now for the services for the patient, or if not, they could just wait till the case is over, right?
Correct.
But a lot of these folks I'm telling you about, like the plastic surgeons, they want their funding, their finances immediately, and you provide that.
Yes.
All right. Well, how long have you been in Las Vegas? Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, I've been in Vegas for about 5 years. I started the medical lien business January 13th, and I pretty much have grown aggressively in the medical lien business because I pretty much work about from 4 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
Well, you work very hard in getting your clientele base grown up. I remember how you approached me. You wanted to contact me and say, hey, Mr. Cardoza, I want to let you know what I can do. And let me just see if I got this right. What you offered was to introduce me to multiple different doctors that I may not know about. Even though I've been here 22 years, I was telling you during our first meeting, I can't stand these plastic surgeons that want to get paid up front. I can't find a foot doctor for my motorcycle client that has his foot almost cut off. None of these more esoteric or specialty type doctors want to work on these attorney liens or medical liens. And you solved the problem with that.
Yes, I did.
Well, tell us where you came from, and I want to get a sense how you adjusted and have enjoyed being here in Las Vegas.
Originally, I'm from New York City. I moved out here to actually relax, but it didn't happen that way. So I pretty much, I was a medical sales rep, and I took medical terminology because I've seen procedures like carpal tunnel surgery, podiatry, aesthetics, and actually an attorney introduced me into the medical lien business.
Okay.
Told me I'd be very good at it.
Now this is your full-time
This is
occupation.
all I do, medical liens. I focus on finding providers to assist law firms, also how to add value to both professionals and providers in the community.
And you've become quite successful in Las Vegas, and you've gained some, as I see, some celebrityness. Isn't that right?
I'm flattered, yes.
Well, let me show the audience this, and I'm going to show a video clip picture. But in brief, this is My Vegas magazine. Is that right?
Yes, it
And
is.
is that you on the cover, boxing or doing some martial arts?
Yes, it is.
Well, you have to tell us, how did you get on the cover of My Vegas magazine?
Well, I was approached by My Vegas. They went and attended an ARIA meeting, which is the Asian Community of Realtors.
Okay.
They approached because they were looking for a woman of influence. And Steve Lee and Shane Nigeen, who are mortgage lenders and top realtor, Shane Nigeen, nominated me. I was told that I was nominated by 60 people in the community. And the next day I got a phone call and asked if, I was interested in being on the cover.
Well, this is pretty fast track moving. You agreed to be on the My Vegas magazine, and in case you don't know, people, My Vegas magazine is a local magazine, a periodical, which promotes local businesses.
Yes.
And not only doctors, lawyers, but other professionals who have been a positive influence in the economy here. Well,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. I
Now, when
appreciate
is this wonderful cover, this magazine, coming out?
Well, actually, it's coming out in November 1st. I got permission from Mark Schaefer, the owner of My Vegas, to show it early. I appreciate that, Mark. And the new name will be out November 11th. After November 11th, Medcare will not be Medcare no longer.
Now, in the cover, it looks like you're hitting a bag, and you're in some martial arts outfits.
Yes, I definitely am into fitness.
I don't think you just started last week. When did you get into martial arts and fitness?
Since I was 6 years old. 6 years old. I'm actually a red belt in judo, third-degree black belt in taekwondo, and I do Russian kickboxing.
And what did the magazine want you to do? To promote something that you like to do, whether it was biking, weightlifting, or something like that?
Well, actually, My Vegas magazine crew, there was 2 images they couldn't decide on. They pretty much, one was very conservative, a white suit, and the other one was this. The reason I picked this cover, because I feel all women should be all aspects of everything. There's also more images of me in the magazine. There's 4 more images coming out on November 1st.
Will there be a magazine cover event, party?
I think so. They told me around November 20th there'll be a party nominating all the women of influence and other people that are on the cover.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you so
I think
much.
that is a good choice in both cover to market yourself, your business, and also for the magazine. I hope you have a wonderful event there, and I salute you for doing all that, because that's quite a step from being in town in the relatively brief time that you have to get the celebrityhoodness to be on this magazine.
I appreciate it.
So I want you to think of this topic, because there are lawyers out there who say, Kim Von Martin, why are you bothering me about lien business? The lien business is something between you and the doctors. Why are you bothering me, the lawyer, about all this? What's your response to that?
My response is because I do add value to law firms. Medcare is creating a portal. It doesn't have to do with funding. We have different components of the company. Even if a law firm decides not to use us as funding, we
Okay.
have a communication base called Case Status. And like I said, we want to add value to the law firms because they do get the personal injury cases from the very beginning, and they direct it, or have it sent to a provider, and it's sent from provider to provider as a referral base.
You've heard these words come out of my mouth. I said, I don't give 2 hoots. I mean, what the hell you do with the doctors, right?
Right.
But you and I'm telling you for other attorneys out there listening, you may think you know all the doctors in the world. You may think you know all the doctors that are going to help you until you don't. And it's good to have options, not just to avoid the problem of putting all your eggs in one basket in one medical center or one orthopedic center, but there's going to be those instances where you need a doctor that you don't know. Now, you also helped me a great deal in finding a psychiatrist and also an ENT doctor.
Correct.
Doctors that I didn't say I had in my phone directory or my back pocket as friends, and I thought that was a great service. And that's what you can provide to the lawyers in town.
Yes, I can.
You helped me out tremendously in those instances. So, what are your future plans to do with your profession and your martial arts and all that other fun stuff you do?
Well, my martial art is basically so I can eat whatever I want. I love food. And the second thing is, it is a release of stress. My job is very demanding. My future, I just want to create an empire. Pretty much, I want to grow with my company. We are opening up within 3 years, 13 different states. We've already...
Well, tell us what states they're in now.
Right now, we're in Atlanta,
okay,
San Diego, and Vegas, and we do buy every medical lien all over except for Michigan and New York City.
All right. And I understand from knowing you travel to all these different locations when needed.
Yes.
So you're a busy lady.
I'm extremely busy.
Well, how's your, you have family in town?
I am a single mother, and I have a few friends. I'm very new. I don't really go out unless I attend events.
You're a serious, hardworking lady, pretty much it.
Yes, I am.
And then you enjoy your fitness. Well, that's fantastic. I wanna ask you about some things like what you do to find and meet different doctors that are, I guess, outside the beaten path of medical, legal, litigation doctors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The people who are always used, the ones you always see in court. Oh, here's Dr. So-and-so. Here's I've seen him before. Because I'm telling you, there are insurance and defense attorneys that they see the lawyer in the case, and they already can predict who are going to be all the providers for a case. But that's not your list of people either.
No, I like to work with, like for example, recently I met a new pain management doctor that moved here from LA. What I look for, I research my doctors. I make sure they diligently write correct notes for medical liens to support attorneys' cases. Make sure they do the correct reductions to assist law firms. Multiple things I look for. I am known in town not to work with every doctor. I research them. I'm looking for quality doctors and building a long-term relationship with them.
Well, I'll give my own opinion. You've been successful in that because you've introduced me to doctors that I never even knew would be interested in working on a legal medical problem. And also, you've changed the minds of doctors who are now willing to accept lien cases.
Yes.
And appear in court.
Yes.
I think that's tremendous work you've done, and you're providing a good service not only for the patients who need their medical care funded, but introducing lawyers to different providers. I want to thank you for all that. So, tell us about your background, because you were saying the Asian group that the
ARIA.
realtors? ARIA.
ARIA.
What's the full name of that organization?
It's an association. Basically, it's open to the community, but it's mostly the Asian community that is based on.
Now, your background is a bit diverse, I understand.
Yes, I am Mongolian.
Mongolian, okay. Well, let's see. For people who may not know, what countries would that be from?
My father is blonde hair, green eyes, Russian. My mother is Vietnamese and Chinese, but I was born in Da Nang, Vietnam.
Da Nang, Vietnam. What was that formerly known as? Ho Chi Minh City?
Oh no, that's different. Ho Chi Minh and Saigon is very different. Da Nang is a small little village. where I was born.
And I'm supposed to be an educated man, and I can't even get to that. Okay, I understand now, yeah. That's in like central Vietnam, isn't that right?
It's a small, very small, it's a very small community.
Was your dad?
Ho Chi Minh and Saigon pretty much it's a city. It's huge.
Was your dad in the service?
My dad was an engineer for Bell Helicopters.
Oh.
He did serve the Air Force and the Army. I was raised as a military brat.
So how many countries or cities did you live in while growing up?
I was all over, and like I said, my dad was stationed in Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, Mecca, Tehran, Iran before the Shah fell and Khomeini came about. I've been all over the world. I think I attended 16 American embassy schools before age of 13.
You also lived in New York City, right?
I'm originally from New York City, Manhattan.
Tell us how did that part of the country come into your life?
I went to college in Florida, at Florida Atlantic University in Boca. I wanted to change my life and pretty much be I'm a city girl. So I lived in New York.
Well, you can't but get more city than New York City.
Yes.
I believe that.
But I learned a lot. If you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. It's extremely fast-paced, very diversified in culture, all different types of aspects of minorities there, very Wall Street. Just women in New York City are very different breed out in the East Coast. Extremely. The work ethics are different. They all want to be millionaires by 30 years old. It's that type of... It's very fast-paced.
It sounds like, what was that TV show? Sex in the City?
That's me. I don't cook. I never knew about Walmart or drove a car until 2006.
I didn't watch the show too much, unless I was forced to, but I just remember a lot of shoes in that show.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, you have a lot of shoes.
I like shoes and baseball caps, yes.
So, you came out west.
Yes.
You lived in California a bit?
Yes, after I left New York, I lived in California a little bit, West Hollywood, and I officially moved here about 5 years ago, full time.
All right. And then you come to Las Vegas and start building your medical lean
Correct.
empire, as you're calling it. And you've done a great job.
I appreciate it.
Kim Vaughn Martin, on the cover of My Vegas magazine. Event party happening in November. I guess this will premiere just before Thanksgiving weekend then, or?
Yes. The magazine's coming out on November 1st.
Well, I think you've done a great job in this town. You've helped me tremendously meet new doctors, and most of all, your services are helping injured people get the medical funding they need to get their treatment and care and get better. Thank you so much, Ms. Kim Vaughn Martin. So, thank you for watching us here on Seriously with Attorney Victor Cardoza. I want to thank Ms. Kim Vaughn Martin for her services, and give us the contact information for your company.
It's Medcare Solutions. We're right next door to Vintner Grill. You're welcome to reach out to me at Kim Vaughn Martin on Facebook or Instagram, my name.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for joining us.